coming straight at you from the Bronx, New York, the show they tried canceling. And for crying out loud, they still trying. Because they don't want you listening. So sit back, relax, no matter where you are. Grab that chopped cheese or bacon, egg, and cheese. It don't matter, whatever you want. And prepare to open your eyes. This is The Miranda Project. Welcome to The Project. I'm your host, Manny. Happy to be with. Let's get this party started. But before we do, we want to thank our friends over at Instacart.com. They've been with us for a long time, so we definitely want to just say thank you for the support. Thank you for hanging out with us here on the project. But ladies and gentlemen, just go to Instacart.com. We've spoken about them before. Great service, grocery delivery service. You can order whatever it is that you need from your local grocery stores, grocery chains in your area, and get things delivered to your home within an hour. I mean, who's better than you? When you're busy and you just can't go out to the corner or down the road to whatever grocery chain, go to Instacart.com. Do the shopping for yourself on your phone, on your computer, and someone will shop at that grocery chain for you and bring the items within an hour to your doorstep. Go to Instacart.com. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, just take advantage. They have great deals for you. Once again, click on the link in our show notes or go to our website, the Miranda Project, PROJCT.com. Click on the link in our affiliate section and just, go crazy from there and let Instacart know that the project sent you. Thank you once again, Instacart. So we want to jump in and at today's show because it's one that really, I think it hits dear to me. We've been mentioning on the show that we've been kind of dabbling in TikTok, and one of our last or second to last clips or micro blogs, if you must, kind of went big. And what we had done there was that we had taken this clip from Mayor Bowser in Washington, D.C., complaining about the immigrants, the migrants, the illegal immigrants. Let's just put it that way, because again, people are going to complain. Oh, we can't say illegals. It's not right. They're illegal immigrants. But anyways, that's besides the point. They are, they've been labeling them the asylum seekers. So she's complaining, and as a matter of fact, instead of just describing her complaint, I'm gonna play the video for you so that you can understand, or you can see. And this is what we put up on a microblog on TikTok, and what's it called? And I gave my opinion on there, and it went, it just took off. But I definitely want to share that with you here. So it is a rather interesting take.
It's reported last week that homeless shelters in DC were filling up. And groups are getting overwhelmed by these buses that the governors of Texas and Arizona are sending here full of migrants. How significant is this influx? How many people?
Well, this is a very significant issue. We have for sure called on the federal government to work across state lines to prevent people from really being tricked into getting on buses. We think they're largely asylum seekers who are going to final destinations that are not Washington, D.C. I worked with the White House to make sure that FEMA provided a grant to a local organization that is providing services to folks. But I fear that they're being tricked into nationwide bus trips when their final destinations are places all over the United States of America.
So, as you heard, she basically is complaining and saying that migrant workers were tricked into getting on buses and being sent over to DC. Now, if I remember correctly, Governor Ducey and Governor Abbott, respectively of Texas and of Arizona, both said that they would be sending these uh, asylum seekers from Texas and Arizona to the doorstep of our president, who basically has no borders. I guess he just feels that we don't need to have any borders. And at that point, you see that there was images on there for those that were listening on the podcast, that there's images in the on the screen for those that were watching. But if you were listening, I'm sorry, just kind of like reiterating the point. But you see images of people walking around. They're giving out bottles of water. They're getting off buses and all of that. And she's basically again saying that they were duped, they were tricked. The only thing that they were duped is to coming into this country. They weren't tricked in getting into any bus and going anywhere else. They were going to make their way anywhere within the the United States. I mean, it's an open border. They were duped, and we'll talk about how they were duped moving forward. But this took off because, again, people see this, and you see this woman, this mayor, that is complaining because DC is being overrun with migrants. Oh, no, not migrants, asylum seekers. And she, the homeless shelters are being overrun, and our city's being overrun. And so, basically in her statement, it's send them anywhere but here. We can't handle them here in DC. But yet you are okay with the policies that our president has in place, which is basically not having any borders. Basically, it's just open borders, bring them on. It doesn't matter. Like just there's no need. There's no such thing as borders. Why build a wall, right? That was the biggest thing. Like, why build a wall? This is a humanitarian effort. We're being humane, right? And it's sad to hide behind that word, like humane. How are we being humane with what's going on? These people are coming here and they're doing it in the way that they're doing it. And it's just, and we've spoken about it before, in such harsh and horrible conditions to come here, to try and live the American dream, to try and take care of their families. Again, they label them asylum seekers, and they're running from extreme poverty, they're running from government issues, they're running from gang violence, they're running from just violence, period. They're running from the cartels. They're running from, and granted, if they're coming to the country because they're hiding away or they're running away from those circumstances, then who am I to stop them? But why isn't it being done the right way? And this is a huge talking point because this administration has basically, or is basically, using this as a ploy to try to pander. And I'm sorry, but it's as simple as you getting up in front of a microphone, and I've stated it before, and playing Despacito for us Latinos because mm, we're gonna automatically like you because you like Despacito. You know, So we're gonna automatically like you because you have an open border policy, and anybody can anybody can basically walk through the Rio Grande Valley and walk into our country, and that's it. And we're going to basically, just say, yeah, this administration, these people that have decided this, they are for the Latino people. Even though they are in their think tank one day that decided to do the whole Latinx nonsense that really, really did not go well within the Latino community. My people were just like, nah. Can you imagine that nonsense? I laugh at it. I mean, listen, I'm a Latino from the Bronx. I've seen a lot, but people are proud of being Latinos and Latinas. The Spanish language is one that is inclusive of all. You want to go and throw your little thing in there because you don't think that it's inclusive. You need to be inclusive or some way, and let's whatever. But that's a conversation for a different day. But as you know, as we saw that or heard that, and we think about the fact that you have these people that are making their way into this country, and they're trying to live the American dream. They're running away from whatever it is that they're running away from. And they're coming into this country and they're overwhelming Texas, Texas and Arizona. And Arizona is basically saying what they're going to say, or they're doing rather what they said they were going to do. They were going to send them to Washington, D.C., to the president's doorstep. Then additionally, like a few days later, Mayor Mike Adams of New York City also gets in front of his usual press conference. And he gets in front of the microphone and the TVs and all of that. And he basically complains about the fact that you have all these asylum seekers coming to New York City, and the homeless shelters and all of that are being overrun by these asylum seekers. He goes to the extent of, Mayor Bowser said that the asylum seekers were being tricked, but Mayor Adams goes to the extent of calling Governor Abbott and Governor Ducey cowards, because he says that, here in New York, we don't turn anybody away. So they're cowards because they're turning these people away and sending them to DC and subsequently New York. Now, obviously, Governor Ducey clapped back, as they say, and he said, hey, we never sent anybody to New York. If you have a problem with people making their way to New York, since you said in your press conference that you are in constant communication with the White House, then what you need to do is that you need to speak to the White House and ask them why they're sending asylum seekers to airfields in the middle of the night all over the state of New York. Because that's basically what's happening. That's how they're making their way here. It's the administration secretly flying them from Texas or Arizona to New York. And, you have Mayor Mike Adams basically coming out and saying, no, those guys are cowards because we don't turn anybody away. These people are going to overrun our homeless shelter, which is happening. Our homeless shelters here in New York are overrun by the people that are homeless here. And now you have all these people that are coming. And then he speaks about the education system, and he speaks about the public service systems and all of this stuff. Absolutely. It is being overrun. I don't disagree with him. But this is not the governor's doing. This is our president's doing. So if you have a problem, since you said that you are in constant contact with the administration about this, then why are you not telling them something about this? Why are you not going to the president, to the cabinet, to Homeland Security, whomever it is, and saying like, yo, like we can't handle this in New York. Like you need to stop. No. But you go up against your political rivals because they're both Republicans and they're both basically saying, no, we're tired of handling the mess that this administration is leaving in South Texas and South Arizona. The border towns are being overwhelmed. We're tired of it. We're not going to clean up this administration's mess. So what we're going to do is that we're going to ship them to their backyard. And I totally agree with it. And there's many people that agree with it. Oh, of course, you have your naysayers. And I had somebody send me a message. And I really don't respond to messages on either TikTok or whatever. I read them, and I take it, and it is what it is. But somebody basically said that it's intersectionality. What's going on? So basically, the Latino community, us Latinos, the people that are coming into this country, the people that are being flown to New York, the people that are being bused, the people that are coming in through the Rio Grande Valley, the people that are going through these extreme measures to try to achieve the American dream, the people that are actually running away from violence, the people that are actually running away from these things in their country. These people are a social experiment for the gentleman that told me that this is a social experiment, because that's what intersectionality is. It's a social experiment. It basically measures the haves and the have-nots, right? That's what it is, and how that the have and the have-nots overlap. That's what intersectionality is, and it measures, that. So we're some kind of a Latinos are some kind of a social experiment. I've said it before. My parents came here and they did it. They came legally, and they did it the right way. Got their residency, and got their citizenship. I'm a citizen of this country. I love my country, but we're some. Us Latinos are some kind of a social experiment. What's going on here? The administration is conducting some kind of a social experiment with us. There is an experiment, and I'm going to touch base on it. I am going to talk about it. It is some kind of an experiment. It's not a social experiment. It's more of a political one. But before we do, or we go on, I want to thank our friends over at Vitable.com. Ladies and gentlemen, go to Vitable.com, take their online quiz. It is quick and easy. All you do is fill out some information, and it tells you what vitamins are good for you, your diet, your lifestyle, all of it. You get these nice packets, daily packets, sent directly to your door. It's better than you. You don't have to worry about going to the pharmacy and searching for all these different vitamins that you might not even need. Go to Vitable.com. Take their personal quiz. Tell them your lifestyle, what it is that you're doing, your life, your diet, all of that. It takes all of that into consideration to get the vitamins and minerals that you need, not the stuff you don't. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, go to Vitable.com. Take advantage of a promo code, 40% off site-wide with promo code HEALTH. 1037. Once again, that's promo code HEALTH 1037. Take advantage of 40% site-wide at Vitable.com. Once again, click on the link in our show notes or go to our website, the Miranda Project, PROJCT.com, and let Vitable know that the project sent you. Once again, thank you, Vitable. So, again, we're some kind of a social. No. It's not a social experiment. It's a political experiment. We are a political experiment. The administration this is purely politics. They are allowing the borders to be open so that the Latino community can grow exponentially. And as they do, they offer them goods and services in exchange for a vote. You see, they've been talking about the replacement theory for many, many years. For those of you who don't know what the replacement theory is, it's basically saying that the minorities will eventually overrun the amount of white people. And I hate to put the whole race thing and all of that, but the minorities will eventually overrun and become the majority in this country. And white people are afraid of that, and they're fighting against it, and white supremacy and all that other good stuff that they throw at you. So the political experiment is open the borders, have these Latinos, not only Latinos, because I mean, it's the vast majority again in the southern border. Because again, there's also Mideastern people that are coming through, not through the southern border, but through other means. We had the exit, the big exit over at in Afghanistan, and how we exited, and how many people we were brought over from Afghanistan into the country as well. But what we're looking at now, what we're seeing at the southern border, we're seeing not Kamala Harris, who's supposed to be the czar of the border, is the fact that these people are a political experiment in order to procure, I don't know what, power, control. Because if you dominate the majority of the people, if you tell them, if they vote for you and you dominate, then is that a means to a one party control? Is that the political experiment we're talking about? Is that replacement theory? Is that what is that what we're aiming for? So we're going to use the Latino community to do that? You're going to tell them, just come into the country, open borders. The wall isn't finished. The wall that many Latinos wanted. A lot of people were, but the wall, it discriminates against Latinos. No, many Latinos know what was going on in their countries, and they wanted to stop it before it made its way through here, so that it made its way properly. And by properly, I mean vetted, meaning that you weren't getting the cartels. You weren't getting the MS-13s. You weren't getting any of that nonsense that was coming through. Now it's just coming in nilly-willy, or willy-nilly, excuse me. Freudian slip, right? or what's that called? When you invert things. That's what many Latinos, many Latinos want immigration reform. Get that straight. Understand that. Understand. Many Latinos want immigration reform. But this right here, open borders, that's not the reform that many Latinos want. That's not. They want the arduous process of becoming a citizen not to be as arduous as it is. But it's not. Just open the borders and let everybody in, and then we'll figure it out afterwards. Oh, you know what? As a matter of fact, let's just make them citizens. Meanwhile, I've been in this country for X amount of years. I'm busting my hub. I'm working. I'm doing everything that I need to do, going to all of my sessions, going to all of my meetings, learning the language, going and preparing for the citizenship test, and doing every little detail that I have to do in order to become a citizen of this country. But no, President Biden decides, open the borders, let them all in. As a matter of fact, let's make them citizens. That's exactly what many people, many Latinos, many not even Latinos, not even just Latinos. Many people that are going through the process, doesn't matter from where they're coming from. Because it's such a horrible country. Many people just coming from all over the place to come here to the horrible country, right? Brittany Griner, who's currently sitting in a Russian prison, guilty before, what's that? In Russia, it's guilty to proven innocent, not innocent to proven guilty. No. Just wanted to throw that out there because this is such a horrible country. Right, LeBron? From zero to billionaire? Right. So all these people are coming here, all of them, to try to achieve the American dream. They're coming here to try to achieve the American dream. But the government, or our current government, is basically, or current administration is basically utilizing them as a political tool, because now it's not even an experiment anymore. Now it's just a political tool. Let's be 100% real. This is a political tool to gain power. You're using these people to gain power. You don't care about them. You don't. It's what can Brown do for us? That's it. And that's give us power. And you don't believe me? Listen, I'm gonna put something up, that is rather interesting. Realize that this is basically where we currently are right now. The Biden administration is currently weighing plans to provide temporary identification cards to undocumented migrants who are illegally residing in the United States so they can access government benefits while awaiting decisions regarding their immigration statuses. So that means, I'm going to leave it up for those that are watching, our video podcast. That means that if you're a illegal immigrant or a asylum seeker, then you are going to be able to garner medical benefits through welfare, food stamps, housing, public housing, all of that. Basically, the administration is weighing the options in order to do that. They are thinking about how they can do that. Again, federal officials are considering pilot program to give illegal migrants, easier access to help with things like healthcare, housing, and transportation, while incentivizing communication with law enforcement through immigration court proceedings, according to government sources who spoke to Axios. Currently, illegal immigrants going through court proceedings need to physically check in with law enforcement at an Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, field office. Again, this is basically giving these illegal migrants, immigrants, asylum seekers, whatever the administration sees them fit, whatever they want to call them, right? They want to be able to give them the rights of many citizens that are here. Meanwhile, they have citizens here that are struggling to put food on the table. You have citizens here that can't put gas in their tanks. But yet we're ready to give away food stamp benefits. We're ready to give away housing benefits, medical benefits through Medicaid, which is what they call it here in New York. I don't know, obviously in different states. But we're ready to give this stuff away to these immigrants. Why is that? Could it be the political experiment? No, political tools. Because what's next? What's next? You know how you ease things. You get, you can't just give everybody just in one shebang. You can't give them everything in one shebang, because then people are going to realize it. As people are fighting with each other and paying attention to things that they shouldn't be paying attention to, you're getting smacked, or you're realizing, or you're seeing something, or you're not seeing what is going on underneath your eyes, right under your nose. While you're struggling, the people that Mayor Adams and Mayor Bowser are complaining about are about to receive benefits on your back. Political tools. It went from a political experiment to a political tool. And now they are slowly becoming a tool. They're slowly trying to weaponize them. That replacement theory is coming into fruition. They want it to come into fruition because we're going to give them the same thing that we've given black people. And now that black people, and I'm sorry, a lot of black people that I know, and they're waking up to this nonsense. And they're saying, I'm tired of being used. I don't want to be used as a political tool anymore. I'm waking up. And now that people are waking up to this nonsense, now they're like, no, we don't need you anymore. We're done with you. We are done with you. With movements like the Brexit movement and so on and so forth, and they just they keep the facade. They keep, you know, they kneel to the BLM overlords, I guess. But eventually, with all the crazy stuff that came out about BLM and all the money laundering and all of the stuff that came out of that, it's been kind of quiet. You don't really hear much about it. It's more about what's coming in through the southern border that is the major attention. Well, not for the administration, because Kamala Harris isn't paying attention. She could care less. You know, her pronouns are she, her, and she's sitting at the foot of the table with a blue jacket on. That's more important, not what is basically streaming through the southern border. Because, you know, the children that are getting molested down there, you know, you remember that case that they overblew because of the Roe v. Wade case, that 10-year-old that was raped by that migrant, legal immigrant, asylum seeker. She was raped. How many children are going through that, trying to make their way into this country, being raped? Women being raped, men being raped. How many? How many people are dying? Did we forget about that trailer of people that were that basically they found in Texas? I don't know. I don't remember how many people were in that trailer. They were cooked to death. Did we forget about that? The crazy, the humane things that are going on as these people are making their way into this country for your political, or no, to be part of your political tool, to be utilized. Because there's no sense, there's no need for what's it called, open borders. What's the sense? What's the sense? You could just go into wherever it is that you want to. There's no need for it. What wall? Why do you need a wall? People are people. We can just go wherever we please, wherever we want, right? I want to pose a question. I want to pose a question, but before we do, I want to thank our friends over at iScooterGlobal.com. Ladies and gentlemen, iScooters have become the rage. I've seen them all over the place. And iScooter is one of those companies that has scooters for the entire family. They grow with you from childhood all the way up to adulthood. Ladies and gentlemen, go to iScooterGlobal.com. They are dead set on making sure that you have the best tool for the price that you pay. They offer great customer service, and they want to make sure that they revolutionize the way you transport yourself. Go to iScooterGlobal.com, click on the link in our show notes, or go to our website, the Miranda Project, PROJCT.com, and let iScooter know that the project sent you. Thank you once again, iScooter. So people can go wherever people want to go, right? That's bottom line. That's it. People can go wherever they want to go. So I have a question. I want to pose a question. Since borders, we shouldn't have borders. And we have to be humane, and we have to help these asylum seekers that are running away from gang violence, that are running away from violence, that are running away from a tyrannical government, that are running away from cartels, that are running away from drugs, that are running away from poverty, that are running away from all these things. So my question becomes, in that dynamic, can people from the South Bronx go to posh midtown neighborhoods in Manhattan and basically just go and live there? Just basically walk into a Park Avenue high rise and take an apartment and say, oh, the government's going to pay for it. Can they cross the border into Greenwich Village? Scarsdale, the Hamptons. I mean, they don't necessarily. They need asylum. They have to run away from gang violence. They need to run away from severe poverty. They need to run away from gang violence. I believe I said that already. Drugs, a tyrannical government. They have to run away from that too. Can they go to the Hamptons and hang out over there in those exclusive, Palm Springs, gated communities? The gated communities that you people hide behind and say that we shouldn't build a wall for this country, there shouldn't be any borders. Those gated communities, can those same people that are living in extreme poverty, black and Latino people that are living in extreme poverty in South Bronx, Jamaica, Queens, Washington Heights, East New York, Brooklyn, can they go to those nice posh neighborhoods and just say, well, I'm going to live here now? There's no borders. I can be here, and you guys are going to have to take care of me, right? And I know it's a dumb analogy. It's a dumb analogy. Don't get it is, but is it? I'm just curious, because what can Brown do for us? That's basically it. Because you're telling them, and again, I said it before, you're telling Black and Latino people, but mostly the Latino people that are coming into this country, you're just like Mayor Bowser said, you're tricking them, you're duping them. And I said I was going to touch on the fact that they're being duped. How they're being duped is that you're telling them that they're coming into this country to live the American dream, but you're not giving them the American dream. You're telling them that they're going to live off of you. You're not allowing them to go and make something out of themselves. The social political experiment, rather, or the political tools that you want them to be, you're telling them, because you're already giving it to them. They come into this country, and now you're just going to give them the social services. You're going to give them healthcare. You're going to give them food. You're going to give them all this stuff. And again, people need to be taken care of. I don't want there shouldn't be anybody like starving, like, oh my God, like, this is not a, there has to be ways that we can take care of people, but people need to learn how to take care of themselves. Not everybody should get a handout. That's where we are. That's what I'm talking about. But you don't want that. You want them as political tools. You want them to be subservient to you. You want them to come in and to sit down and shut up and do as they are told. That's it. Because if you're not, if you open your mouth and you are not part of the agenda, or you have a mind of your own, or then you are public enemy number one, and then they have to talk about you, then they have to bring up bad things about you, then they have to go out there and they have to hire a advertiser to talk nastiness about you, like the Democrat who paid an advertiser to attack Mayra Flores as Miss Frijoles and Miss Enchiladas, because she speaks her mind. She's a Latina. She's not having it. She lives in a border town, and she's sick of seeing how this experiment, the fact that these people are being used as a tool, and she's tired of it, and she speaks up against it, and she beat an incumbent. And now this incumbent is basically paying somebody to smear her by using derogatory Hispanic derogatory language. And you know what? I could care less. Like, I grew up in an age where they made stuff like that really didn't bother me. Not like now that everything bothers everybody. I was watching this video, which was hilarious. This guy went through a college campuses dressed as a mariachi. I think he was a mariachi or something. He had the hat and all of that. And he asked people, hey, does this offend you? He said, people were like, yes. Are you Mexican? He said, no. Yes, it's offensive. You don't know their culture. It's offensive. It's offensive. It's offensive. It's you're making fun of their culture. Meanwhile, he goes to dressed in the same way to where the mariachis are, Mexican community, so on and so forth. People welcome him. He walks in. They're They're eating. They're talking. He says, "Is this offensive?" People say, "No, not at all. I love it. It's awesome." Right, but you still don't have the right to go and say things like that when somebody basically has a mind of their own and is saying or standing up against what is going on, against this social experiment, against this the political tool that we are becoming. And for those that are allowing themselves to be utilized, that are not waking up to it, because there's plenty of Latinos that are just like, I'm done. I'm not. Mayra Flores being one of them. Myself being another one, and there's so many others. But here we are. This is basically what what they're sinking themselves when you don't follow the status quo, when you don't sit down and shut up because we're giving you what you want, what we think you want, instead of you fending for yourself. You have to sit down and shut up. Miss Flores is not going to be one of those. There's plenty Hispanics that are not going to be one of those people that are going to sit down and shut up. I'm telling you, there's a difference. And I don't want to sit here and go through the whole identity politics and all of that stuff. I just want people to understand, especially the Latino community, we as a whole, we are strong. Humanity as a whole is strong, period. Forget all of the Latino and black and this and that. We're all people, man. We're all part of the United States, man. We love our country. We want our country to succeed. We want to live a quiet life. You want to consider yourself a tree? Be a tree. I don't care. You have X amount of partners. I don't care. Don't introduce that to my child. If my child wants to live that when they're an adult, then let them choose that when they're an adult. Don't introduce that to them when they're 6 years old and start talking about your multiple partners when you're supposed to be teaching them math, English, and science, which is something that we've spoken about and many, many, many Latinos are very, very much against. Education is everything. Why do you think they come to this country? Why do you think you have so many Latinos making their way up the Rio Grande Valley into this country to make sure that their children get a proper education? If there's such a thing exists now, because I was talking to a friend and we were talking about the fact that they don't teach much anymore in school. And nothing against teachers. This is not an attack against teachers, because there's plenty of teachers that teach, but there's plenty of teachers that are just, they follow what the curriculum states. And sometimes the curriculum isn't what needs to be taught. But, it's stop with the social experiment, man. People need to wake up to this. The Latino people, just people in general need to wake up to this. I just want to put this up on the screen because it goes to show you the difference. The difference. One of these guys immediately released from jail after trying to stab the Republican nominee for governor. The other was locked up in Rikers for stabbing someone in self-defense. This is what New York has become. And in the picture, there is the man who tried to stab the Republican governor nominee Lee Zeldin, and Mr. Alba, who was trying to defend himself from an assailant in a grocery store in Manhattan. Yeah. There's you want to do the identity politics, you want to do all that stuff, and the systemic racism and all of that. Yeah, okay, wait, we can go there too. There's a difference. That man basically defended himself. The other one was assaulting someone else, and one walked scot-free. The other one did time. Granted, they dropped the charges. Okay, but you are nothing but a tool. That is basically what I am trying to get at. Wake up, my people. Wake up, everyone. We are not a tool. We are not part of some social experiment. We are human beings, and we deserve the right to live the way we want to, not the way that some government overlord or some CEO in some pearly office somewhere, White Tower somewhere, deems we should live. Just want to put that out there. I want to thank our friends over at xsense.com. Ladies and gentlemen, go to xsense.com. Great company. They have awesome tools to secure the most important thing in your life, which is your home. They have smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors, utilizing the most new technology, which is the Wi-Fi that you have in your home. You can get notifications on your phone about things when you're away. Whether it is carbon monoxide or dioxide or fire or something like that. Very important to take care of the most important thing, which is your home. Xsense also has home security systems. Ladies and gentlemen, go to xsense.com, click on the link in our show notes, or go to our website, the Miranda Project, PROJCT.com, and let Xsense know that the project sent you. Let's stop being tools, man. Let's stop being tools. We are part of the human race. Let's stop being utilized as some kind of a tool for a political gain. Thank you once again for joining us on the project. Again, check us out on our website, the Miranda Project, PROJCT.com. Check us out on our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, Rumble, TikTok. We are trying to expand. We are trying to get further outreach. Thank you once again to all of our listeners. Thank you to all of our watchers. And as we always say, they don't want you listening. Thank you. And God bless you all.